Welcome. Uh, Good to be here with everyone again. And here we are for our weekly WeAwake group meditation. And today we are doing the third track of a collection called Neurohacks. And this is called Evening Relaxation. And it entrains the brain to delta wave, which is one of the deeper and slower. So the science says it takes about 8 minutes. And this is a relatively short track. It's 20 minutes long. And in this meditation, I would just ask everyone to focus on stillness in the heart and just bring your attention there and let it rest there, because that's where we find our connection to God or to soul or to the divine mystery. And that is where uh, spirituality and religion has its source power, without which it's just dry and dead and doesn't doesn't do its job. So again, let's focus on stillness in the heart. And this is just 20 minutes. So if the mind wanders, just bring it back. Sit up straight and relax your body, your jaw, your tongue, your shoulders, your gut, your legs, your hands, and focus your attention here on the heart chakra. Okay, let us begin. Today I want to talk about something that, well, we'll just see how it goes. I never do. But start it with one of my favorite theologians is Matthew Fox. You guys have heard of him, but he was a Catholic Dominican for many years. I think he said 37 years. And he developed a theology that he calls creation spirituality. And it deeply spoke to me. And as my path to God had led me into the wilderness for many years. And I went to hear him when I was living in the Bay Area in California. He was going to give a talk at a university. I think it was called Creation Spirituality. I forget the name of it, but just, you know, look up Google Matthew Fox at university. And I got there early because I wanted to get a front row seat because, I just wanted to, I really had great love and respect for this man's teaching. And it was only me and Matthew that were there. So we spent a half hour setting up chairs, with this world famous theologian and humble and beautiful man of great insight and practices what he calls deep ecumenism. In other words, drawing from all of the spiritual traditions and his school in Oakland. When he was still a priest, he had a witch teaching there, a witch, a woman of power. Says I'm connected with nature, and I don't think she was, being an evil witch like in Shakespeare, but she was a good witch. And Native American teachers all the students were doing sweat lodges and ceremonies there, and anyway, he got silenced by the church. They said, "Okay, Matthew, that's enough. Don't say anything else." So that went on for a few years, and he he got unsilenced, and he held a news conference, and he started, as I was saying, and he started talking again, and then I think he got silenced again. Anyway, eventually, he left the church and is currently a Episcopalian priest. And Episcopalian, it's very similar to Catholicism without the Pope. So it's probably as close as to being a Catholic you can get without being a Catholic. And I grew up in Catholicism. But anyway, he says there's 4 aspects of the spiritual journey, 4 paths. And we may emphasize this or that or be in a certain one at a certain time, but we got to go through all of them. Okay, so first one, let's start off positive. It's called the via positiva, and that is the great beauty, the amazement, awe of the universe. When you look at the clouds, when you look at a flower, when you walk through the forest, when you talk to your dog, when you look in your heart and you find that amazing love and indescribable awesomeness of creation, the via positiva. And then there's the via creativa, which is the path of creativity. And Matthew wrote a book on creativity, and he said one of the times that we're closest to God is when we're being creative, when we're active creation. God is called the creator. That great mystery is the creator, because look around, everything was created, and everything is continuing to be created moment to moment. It's all there. And so when we dance, when we sing, when we write a song, we write, when we draw, we do poetry, whatever our teach, or whatever our raised children, or whatever that path is, that's the via creativa, and that is a path, a yoga, a way to join with God. And then there's the via transformativa, which is, well, when we no longer are passive, but we go into the world to establish, to work for justice and work for. I'm back. I thought I got off the hook, but apparently I'm not off the hook because I came back. And so we're talking about the transformativa. That's where we're mystic warriors and we stand up for and stand against injustices and the horrible things that humans do to each other and to other creatures and to our Mother Earth. Okay. And then last but not least is the via negativa, which is just like it sounds. It's the path through the pain, through the suffering, through the darkness. And that is the one that I've been in most recently. And, I've taught a lot of talks, written, spoken, worked for years. I worked with clients, mainly people who were addicted to drugs and alcohol. And they knew the via negativa really well. They knew suffering. And yes, I suffered with, as my wife can tell you, Pam, with depression over the years. And my beloved older brother, Rick, finally committed suicide. It was so hard. And sometimes I feel the suffering so intensely, so just not as a as a mere negative thinking pattern, but as a bodily felt, and it's often centered in the heart. And it certainly doesn't. When I'm in there, I don't see myself as really great or good or noble in my suffering. It's just dark, but it also connects with the suffering of the other side of the via positiva is the negativa, the great suffering that's in the world. And, my friends in Kyiv that get missiles shot at them 3 times a week, just for the sheer hell of it. Yeah, because Vladimir doesn't want this country to exist, and he wants to own it. So to be part of his legacy as the guy that got the empire back. Okay. Hell of a thing. Think about that. So anyway, all that to say is I've been really in it. And I was worried about doing this morning because I said, what the hell do I have to say? I'm in such a dark place and everybody's got enough of their own pain without me adding to it. And so I was, wow, what am I going to do? So I sat with it in meditation, and a couple of things I got. First of all, when we're in that place, and probably most of us know that place of darkness, unless we're really young and have had a good short life, but eventually you'll get there on the road. That place where you feel disconnected from everything, everyone, from God, from love, from hope, and just feel the depth of the pain. Well, that is where I have been and lately. And it ain't easy. But one of the things that I tell myself, well, John, what would you tell somebody who came to you who was suffering through this? Oh, and by the way, that's why my drug addict beloved students and alcoholics accepted me when I wasn't an addict, because when I would talk about the depth of my own suffering with depression and the darkness, they went, okay, You qualify. You get us. And I would teach in such a method. Well, a student of mine told me and talk about addiction and all this. And so that I always let them know that I was learning from them as much as they, if not more than they were that I was teaching them. So today, when we were meditating, it's a really good track. Heidi selected that for today. Thank you. I focus on my heart and just decided to be as present as I could with the pain and with the suffering and the grief and the darkness, the via negativa. And two things happen. First of all, one of the things when we're depressed or in that darkness, in that dark night of the soul, it's called in Christian mysticism, as we feel cut off from everything and everyone. And it feels very lonely. And you don't want to be with other people because I don't want to be with other people. I'll make that an I statement because I don't want to pour out my grief or somehow that if I in touch with people, I'll add to their suffering, which is the last thing I want to do. So all I can do is be honest about it. But in the meditation today, which I've known, but it came back, is that when you're in that darkness, you are not alone. You're it goes out to the whole universe. You're with all human beings. And there were three little lost dogs I was looking for last night, three young dogs and just their suffering. I mean, all of that, it can connect us in a way that brings deep humility for sure. And can lead to compassion. And which is one of the absolute major things that spirituality or direct experience of the divine, of the sacred, leads us to compassion for the suffering of all beings. And of course, it starts off with Buddha's first teaching. Yeah. Life is suffering. And he goes on from there. And Jesus said in his main address in Matthew, he does it in Luke too, but the one in Matthew normally first is very beautiful. On the sermon, it says, "Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted." So in my meditation today, I realized that I'm not alone. And I begin to feel some warmth here. And I was a bit frightened to do what I'm doing now, talk about it. And but here I am. It's what I've been given to do. So thank you for meditating with us. It helped me. And as I've often said, it's been kind of one of the mantras or one of the main lessons that I've learned in my life over and over again, that God, the divine spark, Meister Eckhart called it, is that light that we find in the darkness. And I felt that light in the darkness today. And I feel a warmth here that replaced just the painful void. And one of the things And I'll finish with this, that I learned from my time and hanging out with folks who are Native American or walking the red road. And my teacher, mentor, friend, Wallace Blackout, was prayer, the crying out. And I think this was also talked about in Black Elk Speaks, a great classic of Native American spirituality. But the prayer, there's something like this. It may be some different versions of the first part, but it's great spirit, have mercy on me, that my people may live. So I think when we understand that, get that great spirit, God, have mercy on me. Help me to get through this so that my people may live, so that I can be a butterfly flapping its wings at the right place. I can be a vessel of compassion, or I can be somebody that prays really hard for those that are suffering, or walks the path that I've been given, that I've been shown as well as I can. Why? So I can feel better? Well, no, but so that my people may live. So I'll pray this for all of us. Great Spirit, have mercy on us. Help us to be the people that we need to be, and help us to have the courage and the faith to go through the horrible darkness that we encounter on the path to you, the negative way, the via negativa. And why? So that our people may live. Talk with us in all our relations, the Lakota said. And the older you get, the more you pray, the more you get that all my relations expands beyond your nuclear family to on and on and on, to the generations before us, to the generations to come, to all present, and to all sentient beings, and even the things that aren't considered sentient, like the wind and the rocks and the earth and the soil, and all living beings, and the snow and the sleet and the rain and the wind and the sun and the stars, all of that, all our relations. So God help us so that our people may live. Aho, matakuyasan. Thank you.